topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask Good Questions podcast, broadcasting live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on W4CY Radio at W4CY.com. This week and every week, we will reach for a higher purpose in money and life, as well as a focus on health and wellness. Now, let's join your host, Bonita Bell-Andersen, as together we start with Asking Good Questions.
Hey, welcome to the Ask Good Questions podcast. I am your host, Bonita Bell-Andersen, and we have a fabulous show today with my guest, Bart Merrell. Bart is someone who has had some pretty interesting experiences in life that we're going to talk about a little bit. So with that, let's bring Bart onto the podcast stage. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Well, I'd like to introduce you to everyone. So Bart, he kind of starts off with saying, are you prepared for what happens when what happens happens? What if it's cancer? What if it's Christmas? What if it's a car repair? You know, I had to laugh at that because, yeah, all these things can happen. But we need to prepare for before it happens. Bart is an international entrepreneur, an author, and monetize your mindset presenter. He's helped take the first commercial bungee jump to Japan, which I'm going to have him explain a little bit. He's not sure, and I'm not sure about this either, because he said that he jumped off the tower with only hanging on to the bungee cord with his hands. That sounds scary, Bart. So he's been a serial entrepreneur for a very long time. He's going to get us thinking about creating financial security by monetizing what we already know, so we have the resources to deal with what happens when it happens before. Because, and we both know this, don't we? It stuff is going to happen. So becoming self-sufficient and financially secure, regardless of the economy, is a global problem, he says, with a personal mindset solution. I can't wait to hear that. He's the author of the book, Monetize Your Mindset, and he believes that ordinary people can succeed extraordinarily well when they pay attention to opportunities that exist all around them and act upon them. So welcome, Bart.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Look forward to the conversation.
Well, is there anything you want to add to that little intro?
I didn't plan on doing this. This life happened to me in the beginning and caused me to do this. My life's goal was to become an FBI agent and chase serial killers. That is what I wanted to do. We had an FBI agent family friend that said the easiest way in is through accounting. Once you get in, you apply to the jobs that are open. And so I wouldn't have to stay in the white collar section. And so that's what I was going to do. From his advice, my dad's advice, I went into accounting. I found out two things very quickly. I didn't like it and I wasn't very good at it.
Okay.
But it was a means to an end. That was going to get me to where I wanted to go.
Right.
I took a break right before my last semester of college, went to the farm and helped Dad on the pig farm, improved my Spanish. While I was there, I had RK surgery done on my eyes and it corrected my vision. It was really good. It 20/20 in one eye, 20/25 in the other eye. I didn't have glasses again until I was like 52, 53. But I got back up to school and I started the application process to the FBI, and I found out that automatically disqualified me from the FBI.
Oh,
the surgery was, before. I didn't. And the surgery was still considered experimental. And so they didn't want to put money into an agent and then have him go blind. And so
Wow.
their reasoning was valid.
But very disappointing. And I know, I've had my own disappointments where I went, really? Seriously? Oh,
And so now here
well,
we are. I am the side hustle samurai.
yeah, awesome. So you've been an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. I realized a long time ago that I was unemployable. I liked being my own boss. So your early ventures, what did that teach you? What do you think that your early ventures taught you that still shapes what you're doing today?
So a lot of it was growing up with my dad. I said my dad's a pig farmer, but he wasn't just a pig farmer. He was a businessman. He had his hands in many different things. They were just, his love was agriculture. And so they were in agricultural industry specific items. But his example, he never set me down and taught me the birds and the bees of business. He showed me by example and watching him. And then anytime I wanted to do something, he was always there to encourage me and help me through it, whether it was fundraising for the FFA and setting a goal of getting X amount so I could get this prize or that prize.
Right.
Or whether it was my first venture. I bought my first stereo at age 11.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know I just purchased a liability, because every time I went to town, I would have to go buy the new tunes. And that was an expensive venture for a little 11-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Because back then, remember, we didn't have what we have now. We had to buy the crap on the album with the 2 songs you wanted.
Sure.
We couldn't just buy one song. And so when I turned 15, I started my first business. I was a mobile disco business called Illusion. I don't know why I picked Illusion, but I guess I was an illusion. But even then, in my small town in southern New Mexico, nobody was hiring 15-year-old DJs.
No.
And so I had to create my own opportunity. I rented the community center.
That's a big thing to remember.
Yes. I rented the community center, hired an off-duty cop for security. Mom and dad took money at the door. I spun records. Everybody had a good time. I was making $700-800 a night on something that I loved to do. And it gave the community something to do after a football game, after a basketball game on the weekends, or if there was nothing
serious
to
money
do.
Back in the day.
For a 15-year-old kid, that wasn't bad.
Yeah. Well, let's jump to Japan. Let's go all the way over to Japan. And how in the world did you end up taking the first bungee jump to Japan?
So I spent 2 years there on a church mission. So I knew the language. When I finished graduating in accounting in a degree I wasn't good at, and
so
I
came home from your mission, come home from your mission, start school, get your accounting degree.
And I did, but then I'm devastated because I'm not going where I wanted to go. And a buddy of mine that worked for the bungee jump company jokingly asked me, "Well, would you like to go back to Japan?" And I thought for a second, and I'm just like, I think I do. Of course. I want to go back to Japan. And they needed someone to be the in-between between the American company and the Japanese company.
You're perfect.
And I contracted with the Japanese company. And so that's how it started.
Well, did it teach you anything about calculated risk? So
the story about me jumping off, just hanging on with my hands, happened because so on our busiest day in Japan, I think we did 783 people were pushed, assisted off the top of the tower that day. But sometimes in the middle of the week when nobody was there, I was stuck alone at the top of this tower with just me and my brilliant mind. And at the bottom of our tower, we had a stunt person airbag. And in theory, one could jump from 8 stories up without a bungee cord at all, hit the mat, and be okay.
Oh my gosh.
My brilliant mind started to talk to me and say, hey, do you think you could do that? And I walked over to the edge of the bungee tower and I looked down and I said, no, I'm not that crazy.
How much now? How much did it cost to do that? Do you remember what the admission price was for one person?
So to get in the park itself was roughly $15 at the time, and one jump on the bungee jump was a $15.
Okay, but still,
I got to do it for free.
Yeah, 700 or 800 people. That was some serious bucks. Okay,
Yes,
so you're up there and you're thinking, all right, am I going to do this?
So my brilliant mind continues to talk to me and says, okay, you could jump with a bungee cord attached. You wait for the bouncing to stop, and then you just unhook yourself, and you would be falling from 6 stories instead of 8.
Oh, God.
And so in my head, that was better. I could do that. And I tried it. I jumped with the bungee cord attached, but there was just too much pressure and I couldn't get it unhooked. And so they let me down. I went back up to the top. I'm still thinking about how can I do this? And my brilliant mind says, when you connect the bungee cord to your customer, you have this about a foot long, 1 inch thick or wide nylon strap with a carabiner at one end. You could wrap it around, hook it to yourself, and you make a loop. You put 2 of those on the end of the bungee cord, and what do you have? You have handles.
Oh,
I could jump just hanging on to those handles, wait for the bouncing to stop, and then when it stops, all I got to do is let go. Now that's easy. I could do that. I grabbed my handles, I went to the edge, and I looked down and I said 3, 2, 1 bungee, and I jumped. And obviously I'm alive, things are okay.
Yeah.
It was fine, except for your brilliant mind sometimes doesn't think things completely all the way through. I'm hanging at the end of a large rubber band. What's going to happen when I let go? That bungee cord shot to the top of the tower with this loud bang. I hit the mat with a loud slap.
Whoa.
It echoed throughout the park and everybody came running to see who just died. And I'm crawling out of the mat. Oh, nothing to see here. I'm okay. All good. Now, for your listeners and for you as well, you're probably thinking, that's just stupid crazy. And you're right. I probably wouldn't do it a second time. But if you're going to be in business, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to be able to venture out, and you got to be a little bit of brilliance and a little bit of crazy, and you got to do things even though you don't know the outcome.
Right.
Now, this isn't stupid crazy because I had jumped 1,000 times. I knew the pressure I was going to receive, and I was 99% sure I could hang on.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to fall. I guess my only worry was whenever you bounce back up, your body goes into that weightlessness. And I was like, oh, I hope I don't freak out and let go. But I was pretty sure that I could do it. And so it was an educated risk, not a stupid risk, because I knew the pressures I was going to feel.
Yeah.
And when you're in business, you have to do things with an educated risk.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that tagline. What happens when what happens happens? What's the story behind that?
Well, life happens. And I've had several times in my life where unexpected things happen.
Yeah.
And one I haven't mentioned very often, but right after 9/11, I lost several $100,000 in business ventures because of 9/11.
Uh-huh.
And I was this close to bankruptcy. How did I save myself? Well, I went out and I purchased a $40,000 pickup, brand new, off the lot, a Ford 1-ton diesel pickup. Once again, you think, okay, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of stupid risk. But I was going to pull camping trailers nationwide. I was already in the camping trailer industry, shipping camping trailers to Japan.
Oh,
And this was, I knew that this availability was out there. You have to pull the trailers from the manufacturer to the dealers. And the
sure.
manufacturers, a lot of them are located in Elkhart, Indiana, or right around that area there in Elkhart, Indiana. I couldn't get the contract to pull the trailers until I had a truck. So I had to buy the truck without a contract, drive to Indiana, get
That
the
was a risk.
contract, and I would be on the hook for the $40,000.
Right.
Once again, an educated risk. I knew I could probably get the contract. I went out there, I got the contract. I was pulling trailers nationwide, but what else did that do for me? I am in the industry of shipping trailers to Japan. It put me smack dab in the middle of all these factories to where I could meet the people that I needed to meet for my future deals if someone from Japan asked me
Right.
for this. And so it put me in there
That's so
and made
important.
connections.
Yeah, the connections you made were priceless. You can't put monetary value on the connections you make in life. You just can't.
Yeah. And it saved me from bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Because I was this close because of the lost money. But what it also did is it like you said, the connections, it helped me when I needed different things, even though I hated it, because I was gone from home 20 days out of the month.
Wow.
And I
Yeah.
did that for about 3.5 years.
Yeah.
That first truck that I bought, so in 3 years, I put 300,000 miles on that truck.
Oh,
And I sold it to Japan for more than I paid for it.
wow.
After the 300,000 miles, I bought me a new truck and I put almost 100,000 miles on it before I decided, I don't need to do this.
Yeah.
There's other things I can do to make better money and sleep in my bed at night and be home with my family.
Right. Well,
But once again, I sold that truck to Japan for more than I owed on it.
wow. Well, you talk about cancer as well as Christmas is kind of like those ends of those spectrums. Why do you think it's important to prepare for both the good things and the bad things that can happen in life?
So for me, the next thing that happened was my wife, she called me from Japan once and she calmly informed me that the initial test indicated cancer.
Mm.
Now, who hasn't been touched by cancer in one way or another?
I think we all have.
We all have. My brother died of cancer at age 53. I have 2 sisters that died of cancer at age 62.
Oh, wow.
And so what would be running through your mind?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously the first thing is, well, I could lose my wife.
Right.
Sadly, the second thing was, we can't afford this. I can't afford to drop everything and be by her side as she's going through whatever it is she's going to go through. And so that's when I really started thinking about, things happen and you got to prepare.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to take care of yourself and take care of your family, because these things, whatever they may be, are going to continue to happen.
So I know someone's going to be wondering, did your wife make it through the cancer treatment?
After 8 sleepless nights, the biopsy came back negative for cancer.
Ah.
So we were lucky and we got a wake-up call.
Yeah.
But not everybody's going to get that wake-up call. So we need to wake up before what happens and create that financial security by
But
monetizing the things that you already know and do.
why do you think people wait? I mean, a lot of people wait until a crisis hits. Why do
So
you think that is?
I call it the caveman theory of motivation. Back in the caveman days, they didn't have a refrigerator. So Og would go out and he would kill a mammoth and eat on it until it was either gone or rotten because he didn't have a place to put it. He couldn't store it and keep it. He didn't go kill 2, 3, or 4 to try and keep up with Grog across the street because Grog had 2.
Yeah.
We just lived until we needed it. And then Mrs. Og, she comes out and she says, Grog, you need to get out there and go get another. We're about out of food. You got to go get something. You got to do something. His back was put against the wall. And so we have this in our genes, in our humanity, where sometimes we wait until our back is against the wall before we act.
Or anything.
And how many stories are out there of people who their back got put against the wall and now all of a sudden they're millionaires?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stories. I was at there's a conference I was at once, and there was, I don't even remember, it's been so long ago, but there was 4 millionaires up on the stage. They all had ridiculous stories of woe before they made it big with whatever their company was.
Exactly. So why do we have to wait for that back against the wall? What if we could do that before it happens?
Yeah.
And just a lot of these people, after their backs against the wall, they start looking around. Oh, what can I do? What can I do?
Yeah.
And they start to pay attention to the opportunities that are around them, and they make it happen. So what if we could do that before that?
What do you think it looks like on a day-to-day basis to actually be prepared then for both the good and the bad?
So what I have done is anything that crosses my path, good, bad, or ugly, I naturally always ask, how can I monetize it?
Okay.
I don't monetize everything, but I ask the question.
Yeah.
So, I'm a below the knee amputee. And I found out in 2023 that this was going to happen about October. And when I found out it was going to happen after the shock and awe was over, of course, my crazy mind says, okay, I don't like this, but it's going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
How can I monetize it? 6 months post-op, I'm in a appointment with my prosthetist. And I said, Scott, I interviewed 3 other prosthetists before I decided on you. One of them had a guy that had his leg cut off that I could ask questions. How bad is this going to hurt? What about phantom pain? What about, XYZ? What about my bathroom? What do I need to change in my bathroom?
Yeah.
Scott, you don't have a guy. I'm your guy.
Yeah.
And so that's how it started. It started our conversation. And I've been doing that for him for, almost 2 years now.
See, you're perfect for that. That was the perfect way to turn that around. You also gave it some purpose.
And if I didn't think about it before, when the opportunity presented itself, Scott didn't ask me. I told Scott. And so if you don't think about it before the opportunity comes, you're not going to be prepared for the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, it's always, my name for this podcast has worked out so well so many times about asking good questions. I mean, you basically were in that space where you were asking yourself some good questions.
Yes. And I do it all the time naturally. It's the way I grew up. It's the way I watched my dad do it. And if you didn't grow up with my dad or someone like my dad, you don't think like I do. Right. And that's why I wrote the book, Monetize Your Mindset.
So what does that mean? Tell me, unpack that a little bit for me. What does monetize your mindset mean?
It's simple. Anything that crosses your path, good, bad, or ugly, ask, how can I monetize it? And so in the book, I talk about 3 questions or 3 things. What do you like to do? Make a list. What do you need to do? Make a list. What are you already doing? Make a list. How can you monetize 1, 2, 3 of those things to make a difference in your financial situation?
Awesome. Well, you really do. I know that you believe that ordinary people can do extraordinary things and have extraordinary success. So, what do you think separates somebody who can spot an opportunity versus somebody who just goes, and just lets it go by?
Taking action.
Yeah.
I have another speaker friend of mine that he says opportunities don't go away. They go to someone else.
They just go somewhere else.
And so if you don't take, and I sometimes I look back on my life and I say, oh, I was lucky, or I have people tell me I was lucky, and I go, really? I'm missing a leg. I lost several $100,000. I didn't get my dream job. How am I lucky?
Yeah.
But if you look at what Seneca says luck is when opportunity and preparedness meet.
Right.
I take it one step further, and you have to take action, because if opportunity and preparedness meet and you don't take action, nothing happens.
Right. You know who
action.
The person that whenever I see this, I'm thinking about this concept, and that's Elon Musk and SpaceX. And whenever actually the 2 or 3 different companies out there building rockets, and when one explodes, they're not like, oh, woe is me. They're like, oh, here's what didn't work right. Let's go. And they're perfecting something extraordinary, right?
Yes.
And they're taking massive calculated risks, but in the end, they just keep on going. And that's what, I mean, I basically see that in you. That's what you're doing.
Yes, and anybody can do it. It's not specific to me.
Right.
They just need to ask the questions and pay attention as they move forward. Once you get in the habit of asking those questions, when something comes by, you're going to ask, how can I monetize it?
Yeah.
And I always say that I ask, how can I monetize it? Not can I monetize it?
No, how can, yeah. Language is important.
It opens up your mind, and your mind can continue to think about it.
Yeah. A lot of our listeners are retired or semi-retired or thinking about it. How can they apply monetize your mindset thinking at that stage of life?
They have so much wisdom. They have lived so many things. And so a lot of what they have to offer is fixing someone else's problems that they might need to go through. So I always tell people that a lot of people overlook the what do you need to do? Because a lot of times the things that you need to do are not something you really wanted to do. My leg is a good example. I help people, I get them prepared for something that I didn't want to do, but I had to do. And it's a different lifestyle. I joke that my wife, before this happened to me, I would brush my teeth and hop in bed, and my wife's putting all the creams on her face and cleaning her face and doing all her makeup stuff. And I'm like, hun, when are you going to shut off the light? Well, now guess what? We both have a nightly routine that involves washing skin and putting creams on skin and taking care of your skin. Mine's just my leg, hers is her face.
Right, right.
And so I teach people how to do that, because if you don't take care of your leg, you could get an infection, and now you went from a below the knee to an above the knee, or from an above the knee to a hip disarticulation. And so you have to take care of your body and make that's what I do. That's what I help people
Right.
do. And it's something that I needed to do, not that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so don't overlook the things that you overcame that you can help other people do. I have a friend, her name's Nina Lee. She was my grief counselor that helped me say goodbye to my foot. And it's
Mm.
funny, but my prosthetist told me before you go get your amputation, get a grief counselor and have them help you say goodbye to your foot. Nina is a grief counselor not because she wanted to be.
Mm.
She's a grief counselor because she lost her son when he was a teenager.
Ah,
So she helps people that are going through similar situations
yeah.
and gets compensated for it. So a lot of the things that we didn't want to go through, and for someone who is in their retired years, they have a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, no kidding.
They just need to figure out how to tweak it just a little bit to turn it into an income stream.
Right. Well, another thing you say is you call financial insecurity a global problem with a personal mindset solution. Can you unpack that?
So we've been taught all over the world that go to school, get a job, retire with your pension or whatever, your social security, whatever it is. We've been taught that, and a single job just doesn't get it done anymore.
No.
And to get a part-time job, you're once again you're trading time for money
Right.
at who knows what hourly rate. Is
Yeah.
that worth it to you, or can you make more doing something else? I have made a lot of money doing other things just off of things that I like to do, need to do, or was already doing.
Right.
And we don't think like that. In fact, we have a phrase out there, jack of all trades, master of none. We use that phrase the opposite of what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
The full quotation is jack of all trades, master of none, though oftentimes better than the master of one.
Ooh.
It's the complete opposite. And so anybody that uses that phrase halfway, they're lying to everybody.
Yeah.
But that's the mindset we've created. You got to focus on one thing. No, you don't want to keep all your eggs in one basket. Because what happens if there's a layoff? What happens if you get hurt? What happens if AI comes and takes your job and your whole industry is gone?
Yeah.
It's not the safe play. It's not security anymore. Security is having multiple streams.
Yes. I learned that a long time ago in my entrepreneurial journey. So what's the first step somebody should take if they're feeling I'm really prepared? This is motivating me to start getting prepared. What would be the first step that they should take?
And that's a tricky question because we're not in their mindset. So it depends on their mindset. But you've heard the phrase, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't do it 20 years ago, let's plant it now.
Yeah.
So put good stuff in your head, like listening to this podcast. Put yourself around people who think the way that you want to. Whether it's through YouTube or whether it's through networking events, start building your mindset so that you have that entrepreneurial mindset. And then how do you find your opportunities that are all around you? Start with those 3 questions. What do you like to do? Make a list. What do you need to do? Make a list. What are you already doing? Make a list. And then you're going to go with each of those and you're going to ask a couple of questions. Can I turn it into a stream of income? That's one. And then do I like it? How much do I like it? Is it something I want to do? So you're going to have to go out and do your research. You're going to have to go out and ask the questions. Is this viable? Is this something that can be done? And then, do I want it? Everybody says, oh, I wish I was Bezos, or I wish I was Musk, or I wish I was Mark Cuban, whatever billionaire you want to pick. But are you willing to trade this to get this?
Right.
Mark Cuban slept on everybody's couches for a long time.
Yeah.
Elon Musk still lives in the office.
Yeah.
Is that the lifestyle you want? Quick example. In my trips to and from Japan, there is a Japanese restaurant that I love. It's called Koko Ichiban Curry. It's a Japanese curry restaurant, and it is amazing. And if you go to one on a Friday or Saturday night that's by an army base in Japan, you think you're in America because that's where all the GIs are hanging out.
Sure.
And so in my head, oh, I love curry. This would be great in America. I need to take it to America. I had a financer in Japan, a friend that would lend me the money at a ridiculous rate. It was like, if you make money, we share it. If you don't worry about it. I had to ask some of my other Japanese friends, does that really mean what I thought it means? They're like, yeah. So I had free money to get this started. I got back to America. I started doing my research, talking to restaurateurs, and I decided, you know what? I don't want to work that hard.
Yeah.
I love to eat the stuff. I don't want to oversee making it every day.
Yeah, restaurants are hard. Yeah, I was like, oh.
And so I said no. I said no to free money.
Yeah. But that was the smart thing to do.
Exactly.
For you.
And that's what people need to do when they're looking at these opportunities. I have to give up this to possibly get this. Is it what I want to do?
Yeah.
How long do I want to do it if it is what I want to do?
Yeah.
So supposedly in the restaurant industry, after a couple of years, I could be more hands-off. I just didn't want to do it for a couple of years.
Well, what if someone's never really thought of themselves as entrepreneurial, but they're inspired by this? Where would they start?
There has not been a better time in the history of the world to start business. With the invent of AI, there is so much you can do.
I would agree.
I fired my web guy the other day. He wanted to charge me $1,500 plus to make my website more AEO friendly, which means anytime you ask ChatGPT, what's the best dog trainer in the area, ChatGPT doesn't see you like SEO does. And so I needed to make some changes to become AEO friendly. I rebuilt my whole website for $50 and maybe 2 days of time.
Yeah.
Because of AI that's out there. And so it is, with AI, you can do it cheaper. It'll save you money. It'll save you time and increase your chances of success. It's crazy. Yeah. There hasn't been an easier time to start something.
Well, okay, so that's going to lead me right into tell us a little bit about this blind spot assessment, right? I did mine. Yes. It was very instructive to look at mine. And so tell us about what you're saying, that somebody can discover something about themselves in 10 minutes.
So what this assessment will do, and I'm going to have to say 10 minutes might be a little bit overzealous in my, you need to think about it and think about these questions and give it the correct answers. And that's probably going to take you closer to 30 minutes. So sorry about the 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's going to take you probably 30 minutes to do this. And if you are answering, like I said, giving thoughtful answers and really thinking about this, it's going to point out the good things that you already have in place that you can build upon.
Right.
And it's going to give you the one or two things that you're overlooking that
Right.
you
You
maybe
call
need
them,
to pay
like
attention.
in my little assessment, it was top 3 strengths, top 3 blind spots, which I think is like that's instructive, and a 30-day action plan. Wow.
Yeah. And it is your assessment is going to be different than anybody else's.
Right.
And I created this with AI. And so AI looks at every answer and it pulls the good things about you and it says, oh, this is going to be good. This is what their strengths are. And then, hey, maybe you need to pay attention to these things to make a difference.
Yeah.
And this is how to do it. And so it's just a wake up call. It's to help you think about things before you know everything.
Right.
Hey, maybe I can do this, because taking that step into jumping off the bungee tower, just hanging on with your hands, that's hard. That's hard stuff. And when I'm saying that, I'm meaning taking that step into entrepreneurship. You have so many people, and a lot of times it's the people that are the closest to you. They're
That
saying,
are
"Oh, you can't do that.
right.
You can't do that."
Yeah.
And then you're worried about, "Oh, what if I can't?" And then you start, and so now I'm going to lead to another thing. So that's why you need a mentor. You need
Right.
to surround yourself with good people that can help you and give you the, you can do this. I know that was hard. I know that happened, but don't let it get you down. You need that mentor to help you and help you get through it. Whether it's someone you hired as for mentorship, or whether it's just those that you're watching on YouTube. I watch Gary Vaynerchuk all the time, or Ed Milet. I mean, there's so many people that influence me, and they don't even know they're an influence to me.
Right.
But I'm putting good stuff in my head to help me prepare for when the hard times come.
Right.
And that's why I said, when do you plant a tree? If it wasn't 20 years ago, plant it today.
Right.
And make it happen. There's
So,
nothing I can say right now to get you there. You're going to have
no.
to continually do something every day for the next several years to help you fortify your brain.
Right. I feel like it's baby steps. It's just a little action on a consistent basis. And
Yeah.
do you know that we're just about out of time? Which always, I'm always like, we're in the middle of this and it's like, we're out of time. So just a reminder that there will be information. There's a place where I have downloads about, for guests on my website, that people will be able to find that assessment and take it. And so with that, if someone was going to remember just one thing from this conversation today, what would it be?
How much time do we have?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, real quick. Have you heard the story Acres of Diamonds?
Mm-hmm.
Acres of Diamonds, for those who haven't heard, is about a Persian farmer who sold his farm, went in search of riches. He died broke, alone in a foreign land, never found them. I talk a lot about, and then the owner of his farm was watering his camel in the brook, and he looked down, there was a rock. It was a diamond. Acres of diamonds were discovered in Ali Afed's backyard.
Yeah.
We have a similar story. It's called Acres of Pig Poop. I mentioned that my dad was a pig farmer.
Pig farmer.
And in his mid-60s, he decided it was time to shut down the pig operation and go in search of his next big thing. Now, at any one time on our farm, we had 19,000 roughly pigs.
Wow.
2,000 sows. And we averaged, a sow can give birth 2.5 times a year. And we averaged 9.97 pigs per litter. And that creates a lot of pig poop.
No kidding.
And we had these 3 man-made ponds that we called the lagoons that we would divert the stuff into, settling ponds. This year here, this year here, just rotate and rotate. After Dad shut the pig farm down, he went in search of his next big thing. He died at age 81, never found it. Then 2 years after he died, we sold the farm for $235,000, a fair price for the property. The new owners, about 6 months later, they were leveling those man-made ponds that had been dry on top for years. And as the heavy grader was going across the middle of one of those ponds, It broke through the crust and sunk up to its belly in this black muck. They called in experts. The experts right there on the spot offered the new owners of our farm $2,000 a ton for the stuff. That's $1 a pound for old pig poop.
Yeah.
The farm that we sold for $235,000 was now worth over $1 million.
Yeah.
So what about you,
never know.
the people who are listening? What's right there in front of you that you're overlooking? Don't be like Alia Fed and my dad. Because your opportunities are right there, right in your own backyard, right there within your grasp, right there under your nose.
Well, with that, we've got to wrap this up today. Thank you so much for joining us today, Bart.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. I think that this has given people a lot to think about. They'll be able to find that assessment and think about, it's like, ask some good questions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of yourself. Ask some good questions of yourself. So with that, thank you so much, Bart, for joining us. And thank you so much for joining the Ask Good Questions podcast. We'll see you next time.
Today's episode is over, but we did ask good questions again, didn't we? Don't miss out as we broadcast live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on W4CY Radio at W4CY.com. Join Bonita Bell-Andersen next week for more conversations with experts on finances, retirement, behavioral finance issues, health and wellness, and more. Until then, remember to ask good questions.